Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal's space program, where it's a little dark now. Let's go ahead and warp to the next maneuver. Maybe it'll get a little lighter. Then again, maybe not. Anyway, we are taking this probe to Eve for right now. Reason being, we need to get ourselves a little bit of science. So that is the mission. Gonna go ahead and physics warp here as we attempt to get turned to the maneuver node. It's going to be a 28-second burn, so we actually should be burning already. No, we shouldn't. What am I talking about? We should be burning at 12.5 seconds at this point. Oh, boy. This is right away in... Oh. This is right away in the morning, so it's, clearly too early for this. There we go. This timing is completely wrong, but that's okay. This timing doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so once we get away from the gravitational influence of Kerbal, then we will be doing any inclination change we need. Which, for right now, I'm gonna say that that's probably good enough. That is not good enough. We need to be heading prograde. There we go. That's good enough. Excellent. Okay, so that's in 409 days. I don't want to warp to there. 413 days. Wait, how long is it going to take us? Okay, there we go. That's 25 days away. 18. That's more like it. 15 days. Let's warp there. Excellent. And off we go. Goodbye, Kerbal. We're not coming back. It's going to be exciting. Have we escaped yet? Not quite yet. We're getting there. Almost there. Okay, so, the way it sits right now, this is our target. So at this descending node, we should probably go ahead and change our inclination a bit since we're 2.1 degrees off. So I'm going to do that. That's 1 degree away. There we go. Good enough. We'll go ahead and lock to that maneuver node. Now, I am going to do a gravity scan here. Can we do a, anything else? No, we cannot? Okay. So, we are going to go ahead and transmit the gravity scan from over the sun. And yeah, there's not enough electric charge, but that's okay. It'll finish up. Eventually. And I mean, the closer we get to the sun, the better these panels will do. But, there we go. We've now received that data. Could send it again, theoretically. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. We have 19 days before our maneuver, after all. We're going to start moving towards that maneuver node. But for right now, I'm letting the electric charge regenerate a little bit, and then we're going to just send a verification of our gravity scan data. Just as soon as this recharges, which it almost has. There we go. And there goes our electric charge, as usual. I really probably should have upgraded the solar panels on this, but I think it's fine, ultimately. Okay, so we are almost done transmitting this, 86.67%. 93%. I'm just going to go ahead and physics warp towards the turn. We have now properly sent the data. We're kind of overshooting, so I'm going to freeze physics. This appears to be a little broken. We should have some data from the gravity scan. Also, SAS kept turning off because we lost probe control because power was being drained. That's a little exciting. Okay, as soon as we have oriented here, we will warp towards the next maneuver, which should be relatively quick. Almost there. Good enough. So I'll just freeze that physics, and we will go ahead and warp to this next maneuver. Oh. We were still in physics warp. That explains a lot. And I canceled it when I tried to exit the map. Okay. This time I'm not canceling it. Excellent. So this is going to be in an 8-second burn. So we're going to want to burn this at T-minus 4 seconds. We're still going to be on our initial booster stage, which is kind of funny. Like, we're not even going to ditch it with our inclination change here. I'm okay with this, ultimately. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this burn done. We are just about there. I'm going to warp forward a little bit further manually. So we need to be at T-minus 4 seconds for this to burn. So right now. Good enough? Good enough. Okay, so with that done, now we need to try to find an encounter with Eve, and that's going to be the exciting part. Like, I'm willing to bet we're not going to get one here. It's actually surprisingly close. Like, that's an Eve encounter, I think. Maybe a little more retrograde? Little more retrograde. That's an Eve encounter. Is it a good one? It's fine. I mean, that'll do. It's unlikely to get caught by Gilly there. Yeah, I think that'll do. Okay, let's go ahead and head over to that maneuver node. That node is going to be in 79 days, so this is going to be a little bit lengthy. Also, this entire stage is still not going to be burned. This rocket is such overkill, even for going to Eve. Oh boy. Well, that's one way to do things, I suppose. I mean, we'll be able to get science data from Gilly, too? I guess? Like, we'll have plenty of Delta V for that. So we might as well. Okay, we are pretty much in position on the maneuver node. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the physics warp. And we are going to go ahead and warp forward to the next maneuver. Which is going to take a little while. It's a 72-day warp. Luckily, we can do it at max speed. So it won't take too long. Interplanetary travel does tend to be kind of lengthy, though. Okay, so this is going to be a 15-second burn, so we want to burn this at T-minus 7.5 seconds. So I'm just waiting until then. Close enough. Okay. How are we doing? That encounter will be perfectly fine. It'll be in 156 days. We'll just do a quick braking maneuver right here. I don't want to be in this close. Like, I want to be completely encapsulating the orbit of Gilly. That said, we're a little close on this side, but Gilly is descending here. So I think we'll do this, and then we'll adjust our orbit at this periapsis. We probably want to match planes with Gilly, because we want to get an encounter with Gilly eventually, just not immediately. Let's go ahead and start warping to this encounter. So, yeah, I think that is indeed the plan. We're going to do this burn here, and then we're going to over, like, here-ish. Like, this is going to be where we're going to need to do it. We're going to match planes with Gilly, and then we're also going to adjust our apoapsis over here to be a little bit further out, because I'm concerned that if we match planes with Gilly, we're going to have an encounter. That said, maybe that's what we want. Okay, so this is going to be in 55 seconds, and we're definitely not going to be turned there because I didn't turn first. But let's do a temperature scan. Atmospheric pressure scan. We are going to do the gravity scan, but I think we're going to save... No, we're going to do the mystery goo. I think that's okay. And of course, we're a little late on this burn. I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit of vectoring here. Okay, there we go. That'll do. Let's just burn out the remainder of this tank. And now we actually are designed to have this amount of weight. Excellent. Okay, this is probably close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our world first milestone, first flyby and orbit of Eve. We are going to need to transmit some data. So I am going to allow partial, and we are going to transmit all. SAS is disengaged, that is to be expected. And we're almost done. So while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and set Gilly as our target. And at this descending node here, we're going to need to burn a fair amount. Yeah, the descending node is closer. Oh my, that's not exactly what I was looking to do. Okay, come on, let me work on the node. There we go. Okay, so that's 0.7%, 4321. Is that the closest we can get? Yeah, that's the closest. Okay, so something like this is going to be the final orbit, which is going to be perfect, actually. We're not going to need to adjust anything about that orbit. So that'll be fine. SAS back on. We'll head over to the maneuver node. It'll be much faster now that we've ditched our booster stage at long last. Okay, over we go. And let's go ahead and warp towards our next maneuver. Because we've got plenty of Delta V to get the data from Gilly as well. So we might as well. Okay, so this is going to be a 19-second burn. So we're going to need to burn this at 10.5 seconds. So let's go ahead and warp forward. Close enough. And there's a beautiful image of Eve in the background there. Wonderful. Okay. Good enough? Good enough. Excellent. Well, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to enter orbit of Gilly, send a little bit of science back, and then hop back to the Space Center and see if we got enough. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.